my mother and we will continue learning some basics of chess. The reason I'm recording this video is that in today's situation, when we all have to be inside our houses, it's best for us to be, like indoors. It's very difficult for kids and especially senior citizens to be busy. I mean, okay, we are all occupied with some things, but it's important to be busy intellectually, to do some mental work, and what better than chess, So let's continue learning chess. But before we continue, I want to tell you a small story. So in the year 2018, I went to France for taking part in a chess tournament, and there I met a very accomplished senior citizen. So he was not like a professional chess player or something, but he was taking part in a chess tournament. And I was curious. I went to him and I asked him as to what was his motivation for playing chess. And what he told me surprised me immensely. So he told me that he plays chess so that he does not get Alzheimer's in future. For me, it was, an eye-opener that, I'm a professional chess player and all I think of is going and winning. But here, there was someone who wanted to play chess so that his brain is active all his life. So on this note, let's keep our brains active and let's continue learning chess. So Mom, last session, we learned about the movement of the rook, right?
Yes.
So how does a rook move?
Vertical, horizontal.
Yes. So we learned that a rook moves vertical and horizontal, and it goes like up, down, left and right. And if you keep the rook in the center of the board, it looks like a plus sign, right?
Yes.
Now there's one question is, what happens if the rook is placed here in the initial square? How does it move from here, Mom? Which direction it goes?
B2.
Yeah, so I mean, which direction? This direction?
Yes.
B2 or B1? B1 you meant, right?
Yes.
B1.
B1.
So it goes like this straight and vertical. It goes here, right?
Yes.
Which file is this one?
A2.
A file. You mean A file?
हाँ A2 में जाएगा.
हाँ, yes. It will go to A2 and till A8, right? So basically when it is in the corner of the board, the shape becomes like an L shaped,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So of course there is no left side of the board now, and of course there is no downside. So obviously you will not say that what about the left and the downside of plus. I mean it goes in plus when it's in the center of the board. Otherwise wherever it's possible, like up, down is not possible here, so right.
Horizontal.
Yes, horizontal and vertical. Similarly, if a rook is somewhere here, it will go straight up, right?
Yes.
It will go straight up like this. Where else can it go?
From here.
Yes, from here.
H3.
H3. It can go to H3. And can you tell me the end square? This is the end square, right?
Yes.
Which square is this?
A3.
A3. So it can go up to A3, and where else? Anywhere else? Last square?
G1.
G1. So we see that it can go up, down, left and right. In the center, it looks like a plus. On the side, it can look like an L. Basically, horizontal and vertical. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Okay. So rook is clear. Now, let's move on to a different piece. Let's start with the bishop. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me, Mom, how does a bishop move?
Cross.
Cross. Very good. So the bishop moves in a diagonal like cross.
G8.
Yes, very good. So what is this square?
A8.
What is this square?
G8.
G8. What is this square?
A2.
A2. And which is this square?
H1.
H1. Right. So basically it can go to any of these squares along this, the white color square. C6, B7,
Yes.
A8, etc. Right? Now, let me keep one more bishop on c1. Can you tell me, mom, which are the squares it can go to? Which direction it will go? The last square in both the directions here.
A3.
A3, you're right. It goes to A3, and the last square in this direction?
H6.
Very good. So the bishop from C1 goes to A3 and to H6 and all the squares along the way. So it can go to, which is this square?
B2.
B2, and which is, for example, this square?
F4.
Yes, so basically it can go to any of these squares. It can go till A3 and it can pass through any of these squares: B2, A3, D2, E3, F4, G5, H6, right, mom?
Yes.
Okay, now let me just change one scenario. What happens if there is a pawn here or there is a pawn here? Now can you tell me, mom, which square this bishop goes to along the h6 diagonal? Like which squares, can you tell me? I mean, in this diagonal, which are the squares this bishop on c1 can go to?
E3.
E3, very good. Which other square?
A3.
A3, very good. Any other square it's controlling right now?
No.
I mean, it's not controlling any other I mean, this is the last square, but any other squares it can go to from c1? No other squares?
No.
What about this?
Oh, this square. D.
Yes, it will go here. And any more?
Yes, D2.
D2. And it's also controlling this square, right? But there is a, which piece is this?
F4.
Yeah, which piece is this one?
Pawn.
It's a pawn, right? So a bishop now from c1 cannot go to g5, right? Because a bishop cannot jump, right? And what about this bishop on d5? Can it go to g8 now? Can it
Yes.
go to?
Yes.
It can go to g8?
Huh?
Really?
No, G8 no. G7.
No, it cannot go to g7, right? I mean, this bishop...
F7, sorry, F7.
F7, right. This bishop can go only till F7. It cannot go to G8 because this pawn is blocking the bishop. In chess, except for the knight, no other pieces can jump. Yes, no other pieces can jump over another piece. So this bishop controls the square E6 but F7 but not G8, right, mom?
Yes, yes.
Similarly, this bishop does not control G5 and H6. It only controls squares till F4 until A3.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So we know that the bishop moves in a diagonal. It can go here. It can go till here. I mean, it will not jump over its own pawn, but it controls the square. Here, it can control till F7 and A8. It goes till A2 and H1.
H1.
Right? This is right, mom?
Yes.
Okay, good. So bishop is clear. Now let's bring the most powerful piece in the game of chess, which is that
Queen.
queen. So we bring the queen. Let's put it somewhere in the center. So mom, can you tell me in which direction a queen moves?
All sides, so vertical, horizontal, cross.
Yes, very good. So a queen moves like which two pieces, can you tell me? Like which two other pieces of a chessboard? I mean, in the game of chess, which other pieces move? Okay, so which piece moves in a diagonal? Apart from the queen, which piece can go in a diagonal? Just the diagonal, not up down. Just now we saw that piece. Which piece did we see just now?
Bishop.
Yes, so bishop goes in a diagonal, right? So queen moves like a bishop. And which piece we learned goes up, down, left, right? Which piece?
Queen.
No, I mean, apart from queen, which other piece goes up, down, left and right, not diagonal?
वो तो रुक हो गया ना?
Rook. Yes. So the point is that the queen moves like a bishop and like a rook together, right?
Yes.
It can go like a bishop in a diagonal and it can go like a rook straight up, down, left, right, horizontal, vertical, right?
Yes, yes.
So let's see another situation when this queen is in a corner of the board. So mom, can you tell me which are the squares the queen can go to from here? Can you name squares along the A file?
A2.
A2, very good. Let me just put
Up to 8.
up to A8. Fantastic. So the queen can go to all squares up to A8, right?
Yes.
And along
B1.
okay, B1, very good. Which other squares?
Up to H1.
Very good, fantastic. So the queen can go to any of these squares, vertical and horizontal, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about any other squares the queen can go to?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell me?
B2.
Yes.
B2 up to H8.
Very good, fantastic. So the queen can go in a diagonal from A1 to H8 and
Rectangle हो गया.
right. So okay, so one important thing I want to clarify is that if there is a pawn, say opponent has a pawn here, can the queen go to F6, mom?
No.
This square? Can
No.
it go?
No.
No, right? Why? Because
Not jump.
yes, the queen cannot jump over this pawn. It won't go beyond E5. From here, it can go only till E5. It cannot jump, right?
Yes.
So we learned that a queen goes diagonal like a bishop and horizontal and vertical like a rook, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now we move on to maybe knight. We go to knight.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to a knight. Let's first see the starting position of the knight. Where do we keep the knight here?
Yes.
Which square is this one?
G.
G? Which square?
G1.
G1, very good. So the knight is here. Now, how does a knight move?
2.5 square.
2.5 squares. So the knight goes
H3.
H3, very good. And
E3.
E3? Are you sure it's E3?
Oh, sorry. F3.
Very good. It goes to F3.
Yes.
Which other square? Let me color these squares for you. So, sorry. This is here. This is here. This square. This square. Which other square?
E2.
E2. Fantastic. So the knight can go to E2. From the initial position, the knight can go to
2.5 square.
2.5 squares. So it is like 1, 2, 2.5. 1, 2, 2.5. So even here 1, 2, 2.5. So basically a knight goes straight 2 squares and then takes a turn. So it can take a left turn after 2 squares. It can take a right turn after 2 squares, right? Same here. It goes straight 1, 2 and then takes a turn, right? Okay, fantastic. Now a very important thing about the knight is, now let me take a pawn here and keep somewhere here. So pawn is here, we keep a pawn here, and can the knight still go to H3? Let me keep one more. Okay, it's okay. Can the knight still go to H3, F3 and E2 as you said?
F3 he can go.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Knight can still go even though there is a
Jump.
pawn. Yes, a knight can jump over any piece.
Yes.
It just needs to go to the square. It does not matter if there is a pawn or a piece on the way. Knight can still jump. It can hop, right?
Yes.
So knight is also called, like we say, horse in normal terms, and a horse can jump. So similarly, a knight can also jump. So it's 1, 2, 2.5.
Yes.
1, 2, 2.5. Right? So knight has the unique quality in the game of chess that it can jump over any piece.
Yes.
No other piece can jump except for the knight, right?
Yes.
Okay, mom. So let's go to let's clear this. Let's remove and let's keep a knight in the center. Let's keep a knight in the center of the board. And can you tell me which are the squares the knight can go to from here?
E7.
E7, very good. So it's like 1, 2, 2.5.
C7.
C7. So it is 1, 2, 2.5. Which are the squares?
F5.
F5 here.
नहीं सॉरी वो मेरे को एक मिनट.
It's okay.
F4.
F4, very good. So it is like 1, 2, 2.5. Okay, which other squares the knight can go to?
C3.
C3, okay. So it's like 1, 2, 2.5. Go straight, take a turn, right?
Yes.
Any other square?
Yes.
Which other square?
6. B6.
B6. Very good. So the knight can go 1, 2, 2.5. Any other square?
B3.
B3. Can it go to B3? Is it B3 or is it? It's okay. Just see which square it's 1, 2, 2.5.
It was C3.
C3 we have colored. Which other square is there? Which is left?
Yes. E3.
E3. Very good. So it's 1, 2. Take a turn. 2.5. 1 sec. Okay. Why is it going like this?
F6.
Yes. I'm just trying to color this. Yes. This is another one. So 1,
F6.
2, 2.5. And any more square left, Mom?
Yes. B4.
B4. Perfect. So it goes 1, 2 and 2.5. Why does this become like this? Okay, perfect. So these are the squares so knight can go to from the center of the board, right?
Yes.
And when we kept it in a side, we know that it goes to 3 squares from here, right?
Yes.
It's always 1, 2, 2.5 for a knight, right?
Yes.
Okay, we are done with the knight. Now we come to a very important piece, which is a pawn. Let's keep a pawn on D2.
Yes.
Now, how does a pawn move?
Pawn moves straight.
Straight. A pawn moves straight.
First time he go to square.
Okay. First time from the initial position, right? So from the initial position of a pawn, it can go 2 steps ahead, right?
Yes.
So you mean from D. Which square is this?
D2.
D2. Right. So from D2, the pawn can go
D4.
2 steps. Yes.
D4.
And which other square it can go to from D2?
D3.
D3. So from the initial square of each pawn, they can all move 2 steps forward in the from the initial position, right?
Position, yes.
Or it can move one square. But once it is on this square, it can only move how many squares from here, Mom? Suppose the pawn is on D4, then you can move 1 square or 2 square from here?
Only one.
Only one square.
Initially, he can go 2 square. Then he go 1 square one.
At a time, right?
Yes.
Yes. So from the initial position, the pawn can move forward 2 steps, but beyond that, it can only go 1 step at a time. When a pawn goes to the 8th rank, it can be promoted to any piece, not a king, not a pawn. It cannot remain a pawn. It will not be a king. It can become any other piece. That's called pawn promotion, but we will learn more about it later. Right now, enough for us to know that a pawn can go 2 steps forward from the initial position, or it can go 1 step from the initial position, but beyond this, it goes only one step
square.
at a time, right? You're right. And very important thing about a pawn, like we found a unique thing about a knight that it can jump. In the case of a pawn, the unique thing is it never comes back, right?
Yes.
So pawn is a soldier who always goes forward and never looks backward.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And how does a pawn capture? We're not covering capture now, but I need to mention this. How does a pawn capture, Mom?
Cross.
Cross. So pawn is the only piece which moves in a different direction than how it captures. More about capture later, but all I can say right now is a pawn captures in the next square, like from here on D2. Which are the squares it can capture? Which is
C3
C3 and
E3.
E3. So we'll learn more about capture later on, but right now enough to note that a pawn moves and captures in a different direction. Right, Mom? That's clear?
Yes.
Okay. We'll come with more qualities of a pawn in the later segments. See you later.